Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Good to see you guys. It is Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. Crazy, crazy year. Yes, we're halfway through. Halfway through this crazy year.
Coming in.
Thank you, Jimmy. So that's Jim Bell. I want to thank Jim Bell. Here's our producer and engineer. And we are What's the Story with Maria? My name is Maria. I am your host this evening. And we are coming to you live from New York City. I had a little bit of an echo there. So anyway, I apologize for that. So tonight's show is going to be very, very, very productive. I'm actually very excited about it. So far, we have Jay Rivera is coming in. Dominic Pupa, oh my God. Carol Brooklyn, I'm so happy to see you. Lieutenant Carol is calling in a little while. And Leo Rodriguez, our accidental assistant and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy. Leo, by the way, makes all those amazing promos that you see for our show. Every time you see a promo for What's the Story with Maria, that is Leo Rodriguez that has done that. That's his imagination. He puts that together. He picks the music. He's amazing. I love Leo. And Leo is all the way on the West Coast now. He's actually in way, way up high in California now. So, Leo, we love you and we miss you very much, but I'm glad you are close to your family and safe, and that makes me happy. Rena Crugnali Bergi, my cousin from Massachusetts, has joined us. Yes, happy Tuesday. Thank you, Rena. There is joy in Tuesdays. This hour is my favorite hour of the week, as you know. Dominic, how do you solve a problem like, it depends on the day, Dominic. I'm a little moody sometimes. I'm a Gemini, so who knows? But I see there is a gay flag around Dominic's profile picture. Dominic is, yes, he is gay, and he is very, very, very happy, as we all are this week, because it's been a great week for great things. So, Liz Goldenberg, hi, sweetheart. She says, you rock, a much-needed calming voice of reason. Thank you, my friend. How nice of you to say that. And let me just checking in with all my pals. Who else is here? Okay, so we got a nice starter crew. Beautiful. Like some really, really amazing people are in already. So tonight's, what I've been doing is the show was started to celebrate creative people and the reality of living, thriving, and surviving as a creative person. That was the mission of the show, and it still is. The world has shifted in very strange directions in the last 6 months, and I have made a decision to go with the flow and report to you the reality of living, thriving, and surviving as a creative person in New York City with everything that's happening. And so what does that mean? That means that I'm not right now reporting so much on shows unless people are doing shows online, which I love, and I highly respect and want to plug. So if you have a show coming up that you want to let me know about, by all means, please reach out to me. I want people to know about your show. If you're doing something that we should know about. I know a lot of people are doing shows outside, on rooftops, outside. A lot of restaurants and bars are starting to, this phase 2, I think we're in phase 2. So they're starting to reopen outside, and some of them have outdoor music, which is amazing. Thank you. And I think the duplex is outside. The cafe is opening this week. So that's good news. There's a lot of great things happening, and we as performers are hoping to continue to perform. We're adjusting, as is everyone else in the country, and as creative people, we have adjusted, but we've also done some amazing other things. You know, like sometimes rather than just sit around. I mean, I know the first few weeks I was really freaked out, but you know, sometimes rather than just sit around and feel sorry for myself or anyone else, I kind of jumped into action in other ways, and I'm happy about that because, you know, when you're productive, you just feel better about yourself. So I've been really productive. I've been doing creative things around my apartment, which I love because I never had the chance to do that. I've been writing a tremendous amount, which is great. And Lynn Portis and I just wrote a song. We finished it finally this week and recorded it. So I'm really excited about that. And hopefully I'm going to be putting that on Facebook soon so you can hear it, and I'll have some visuals that go with it. And I'm very excited about that. So now, usually I have a little log that I keep for my show that I've kept since the beginning, and I'm almost at 3 years. I think in 4 episodes, it'll be 3 years since I started doing What's the Story with Maria. And as I said, we have consecutively, I've done every single show except for 2. One I was on vacation, another one we had technical difficulties. But we have done every show, no matter what was happening in the world, what the weather was, what the state of the nation was, how we felt. We carried on and did our show. So the show tonight I'm naming Onward We Go, because I feel like, so tonight is the first night since the pandemic started that I did not write in my log COVID crisis or pandemic or something to that effect. I didn't write anything because I said to someone this week, I feel like we are coming out of on the other side of it, and in good ways, in positive ways. There's been a lot of things socially that have happened that have shifted our attention to that. Very important things, and we're going to talk about those things. We have been talking about those things. There's also other things we're talking about as well. The Supreme Court decision yesterday was, I don't know where you are and what that means to you, but I know what it means to me, and it means a lot, and it means a lot to my friends. And so we're going to talk about that. So I have Joe Cangelosi calling in. He's going to talk about getting people registered, swing states, getting people out to vote. We're going to talk about all that positive stuff. Carol, Lieutenant Carol, is calling in from Arizona. She lives there now. We're going to talk about the state, not just New York. We're going to talk about what's happening in the rest of the country, and especially what's happening in Arizona, because there is a lot happening out there. And we want to, the show, even though I come from New York to you, I want to represent as much of the country as I can and what's happening. So sometimes we have people calling in from other places, and they report what's going on with them. So I was watching Arizona the last week or two and thinking, wow, that's like a lot going on out there. And I know my niece Angelica is heading out cross country with her boyfriend. They're going to be doing a lot of amazing things, and one of their last stops is going to be Arizona. So I perked up as well because of that. And I think that it's important to know what's happening in your country, no matter where you're from and what what's important to you. It's nice to listen to what's happening in the country and hear from people that are actually living what we see on the news. So I thought that would be a really good idea. What I am going to do before Carol calls in, because Carol's calling in about, 3 minutes, I think, 4 minutes. Yeah, I am going to let you know about our merchandise. Now, one of the things I want to do, it's very important to me that I do this. A lot of us have been out of work because New York closed down for the pandemic to keep the numbers down. And thank you, Governor Cuomo. We have managed to just bend that curve. Not even just, we're bringing it way, way, way down because people have worn masks, because people have washed their hands, because people have socially distanced, because people have been really vigilant. We've been able to get those numbers down. Now the streets have been flooded again with people, and I don't know. I'm going to see how this goes. But I have to say, I want a big shout out to New Yorkers, all my friends that were not able to go to work, and I was one of them. And because of that, we had stretches of financial hardship, and I want to thank everybody that jumped in and helped. Whether I put my Venmo up there and you left a tip, whether people were just really kind with ways that they helped me and my friends out, whether you donated to an amazing organization, I just really, really want to thank you, because you think sometimes it's, what's $25 or what's $50? When the person you're giving it to or the organization you're giving to is in a really a jam, that's a lot. So I want to thank you, and I'm sure my friends want to thank you. So I just wanted to put that out there. There's a lot of generous people. Now, Dominic, you just called me, honey, but I don't know if you butt dialed me or because Carol's calling in. Now, if you just want to say something quick, oh, okay, he went to voicemail. So anyway, or Dominic, you can maybe at some point if we have a little bit of space, you can call in because you know I always love to. Oh, here's Carol. Okay, great. Carol, hang on one second, honey. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. How are you?
I'm good, Maria. How are you, darling?
Good, sweetheart. So this is Lieutenant Carol. She is calling in from Arizona. She lives there now. But let me tell you a little bit about my friend Carol, who we have been friends for at least 30 years, I'm going to say.
Yes, just about forever.
Yeah, right? So let me just lower, hold on, I'm going to lower the other thing because we're getting an echo back and I don't want this to happen. Okay, so Carol is, she is a retired NYPD lieutenant who started with the transit police. She's been an adjunct professor with a number of colleges in Florida and Arizona. She is a licensed private investigator and graduated from the FBI National Academy. Quite an introduction. I mean, if that doesn't get you a date on a Friday night, I don't know what does. I'm gonna start name drop. Tell my friends to name drop you when they're out there.
I know you usually name drop when I used to come to the duplex.
I love you. I love you. I love how smart you are. I love your sense of humor. I love your sense of justice. And you and I, we Facebook quite a bit. We talk a lot. We text. We're always kibitzing. And
That's right.
yeah,
Especially at 3:00 in the morning when I wake up and you're going to bed.
exactly. And we have some amazing conversations. And this week we were having one of those amazing conversations of ours. And I said, hey, how'd you like to call in? And you were gracious and you said yes. Now, the first thing, because there's so much going on in Arizona. So, Carol, first of all, we are not there. You are there. What's happening with the fires, first of all?
Oh my goodness. Well, the
Bring up your
fire
voice a little
started.
bit, honey. Just bring up your voice a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have you on speakerphone. Maybe if I take your speaker.
Yeah, maybe that'd be better because I got to get you on two
Is
microphones.
that better?
Much
Is that
better. Much better.
Okay. Well, the fire started on the morning of June 5th. So we're into like 10, 12 days. And for a long time, it was only 10% contained. It's now 30% contained, but that's only because we had one good day yesterday. Tonight, very bad. It's now going way up the mountain to Mount Lemon and to Bigelow and to Somerville. And these particular areas are at 8,000 feet, and they've burnt down twice, once in 2003, once in 2017. So the residents up there, which is our ski resort, had to evacuate today at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And it's not looking good. There's 700 people working. A lot of them are from hotshot teams, which work through the National Forest Association or Forest Service. They're through 100 municipalities in the country. And they're doing their best. And we can watch it. I mean, we see Chinook helicopters. It's amazing what we're watching.
Yeah, you've also
And
posted some pretty amazing pictures. I mean, like, to me,
Yeah.
at first it'll look like a sunset, but really they're fires. And
They're fires.
from your
And
house.
It's gorgeous, but it's horrible because you know what's happening? It's man versus environment. What we did a while back, the bighorn, this is called the bighorn fire. The bighorn sheep they kind of more or less went extinct from that mountain. So people brought them back. Well, I feel they left the mountain because they weren't sustainable. Well, once they brought them back, they had to plant grass it didn't belong in the area. It's invasive grass. Well, now the invasive grass is what's causing the mountain to burn, And the sad part about it is we're very fond of our saguaro cactuses here, you know, the ones that look like little people that are all over our mountains here.
Yeah.
They're now exploding because of this grass.
Wow.
So the whole thing's sad, and I, being an environmentalist, just wish the people would get uninvolved in this, because if we didn't have that situation, and we didn't have people building so high up on the mountains, we could just let the fires burn and nature would take care of the underbrush. Unfortunately, it's not the situation, so it is what it is. But hopefully we don't have too many houses lost and we don't have too many wildlife lost. But the other day, I saw two bobcats on the street.
Two bobcats on the street.
Yeah,
oh my
we
God.
see them in my neighborhood a lot, but now they're all down off the mountain. So I saw two at once. I see I don't say million. I mean, I've seen probably 20 rabbits run through the neighborhood because they're down off of off the mountain. So I feel like we're encroaching on their space, and now the mountain's on fire. So
Now, let me ask you, you have dogs. Is that dangerous for the dogs?
it is, but I live in the Northwest, and I have dog doors, but I also have high fencing, and then I have inner fencing.
Okay.
Because I have a pool, and I also have big metal statues of horses, and so they're kind of scarecrow type things.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, I haven't lost the dog, so I keep an eye on them at night. But
Okay.
It's still a little scary when this stuff has happened.
Now, because we have so much to cover. Now, how about? Now, I know New York, our numbers are going way down. We're doing great. People have really been taking care of themselves. People have been social distancing, wearing masks, wearing gloves, really listening to Cuomo. Now, what's happening in Arizona? Your numbers are going really high. Why is that?
Well, today we had the highest day. I think we had 2,300 more today than yesterday, and yesterday was also a big day, and that's
Wait, 2,300. Oh my God.
2,300. That's because we have a Republican governor, and we were closed for about a month, and we have Governor Ducey, and of the Republican governors, I don't consider him one of the worst ones, but just about 10 days before we were supposed to reopen the state, President Trump came out and visited him, and then he's been hell-bent on opening the state. So since he opened the state, we went from very low to having more and more cases every day,
Oh
and
my
now
God.
Trump's coming out again on June 23rd for a student rally. So it's getting worse and worse. So luckily, the mayor of Tucson, Regina Romero, she is a Democrat, so she has stringent rules in the city of Tucson. But, it's hit and miss. So I go into a store, I wear a mask, I do everything I'm supposed to do, but there are people in there that don't. So you have to just take care of yourself. You're on your own in a Republican state.
You're on your own. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of that is happening in Florida too, because Sue called in, Sergeant Sue called in a couple of weeks ago, and she said the same thing. And my friend Terry Ross is out there, and she's just like appalled. It's like, but I gotta tell you, like what's happening in New York, which is really, really like making me crazy too, is, I mean, I gotta say, when I leave the house, I never don't wear a mask, even if I go to the laundry room. And my neighborhood is...
You need to, because you're in the elevator too, right?
Yeah, and you gotta wash your hands. I mean, you don't know who's in there. And look, I haven't come this far to get sick at the last minute. Plus, I don't have health insurance. I had to give up my health insurance years ago because it went up to $700 a month, and I can't afford that. It's either that or my rent. I mean, So, but I got to tell you, like, because it's summertime and because people are over wearing masks, there's huge crowds in the streets socializing at these outside, like bars, like up on the Upper East Side and stuff. It's been crazy. Well, Mandar, thank you, Mandar, just posted. Mario Davila has just checked in. He is the manager at Brandy's. Oh my God, I miss you so much, Mario, and the crew at Brandy's. And so Mandar just posted the Arizona wildfires. Thank you, Mandar, for doing that. That's great. Now, so it's kind of we got to be careful everywhere. We really do. And I'm hoping that people don't start getting complacent because we didn't come this far. We've been out of work for like 10 weeks now. Like, people want to get back to work, but You don't want to get back to work and die.
Well, they're putting us back to work because they want to do people out of unemployment. So the sooner they get you back to work, they don't have to do another CARES Act. They don't have to pay unemployment. So we are the guinea pigs, more or less.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Right, we are the guinea pigs. They don't really care about us. I mean, in your state, God bless you, got Governor Cuomo. He cares. He cares about New Yorkers, and he's doing the right thing. And in most Democratic states, you have Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. You have.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah, there are good ones, but if you're not in a state like that, you have a Republican.
Well, the same thing. Look what's happening in Georgia.
We have to make sure that we do the right thing.
Yeah, Florida, Georgia, Alabama is slammed right now with COVID cases.
Well, they're Republican states, and they're supporting Trump. They're in denial. Yesterday, he said something ridiculous. If we don't test, the cases won't go up. It's like saying if you don't swim, you're going to drown. I mean, what a ridiculous statement.
Well, what it's really saying is if what we don't know won't hurt us.
You close your eyes and drive, and you'll have an accident. I mean, really.
Right.
I mean, how dumb is that?
Right.
It's like Forrest Gump.
I know, right? I mean, it's crazy. Now,
Every day a new story.
Now let me ask you, because I want to talk about how about the Supreme Court decision yesterday?
Well, I wish that Supreme Court decision would have happened in 1989 before I went to the FBI Academy because they wanted to accuse me of sodomy. Because I was a sergeant at that time, and I got sent to the FBI Academy. And in New York, you were allowed to be gay because Mayor Cox said it was okay.
Wait, listen to what you just said. You were allowed to be gay.
Well,
yeah, I know.
I mean,
but isn't that crazy?
You wouldn't get fired from your job. Right, you wouldn't get fired from your job. So here I go down to the FBI Academy, and I'm rooming with a woman by the name of Deborah Washington, and she's from Columbus, Ohio. And I'm on the phone with Lorraine and having a conversation. So she says to me, "Oh, you talk a lot on the phone with that woman, Lorraine." I said, "Well, that's my girlfriend." She goes, "Your girlfriend?" I said, "No, I mean my girlfriend." And she goes, she ends up in the corner with a crucifix, and it's like, I don't know what's the matter. So she says to me, "I can't room with you because you're a lesbian."
Oh my
So
God.
she says, "I have to go and tell everybody." So she goes down, she tells everybody, "Why don't you tell them you're a smoker and I'm a non-smoker so we don't make a big deal about this."
Right,
well,
Jesus.
She goes down, she outs me to everybody. They want to throw me out of the FBI Academy for sodomy. I go, "I'm on the telephone. Who am I sodomizing?" So they said, "Well, it's against the law in Virginia." I said, "I'm on the telephone with my girlfriend in New York, and you're telling me I'm committing sodomy." Well, they ended up having to solve the problem. I mean, the chiefs in New York had to say, "Well, she's from New York. She's allowed to be gay, and she's
Jesus.
not sodomizing anyone." So in any event,
What the
I had to
hell?
move out. I had my own room, but it's because we weren't covered federally. This is what it did yesterday.
I
It gave
see.
Federal protection. So I said, okay, 20 or 30 years too late, and here I was almost a sodomite in Virginia.
Isn't that crazy? But you know what's so interesting? 2 of the 3 that voted against it were actually accused of sexual assault. Think about that. Think about that.
right,
The
that's right.
2 out of those 3 that said, nah,
But he likes beer. The most important thing is he likes beer.
and don't forget, he kept his diary from 1981. And
Exactly. Only 2 years after I was accused of sodomy.
unbelievable. Thank God for he likes beer. Okay, well, let's not get into that too much. Oh my God. I know we could go on for days. Now,
I mean, Marie, you can't make it up. But I mean, it being in the civil rights for our rights for all these years, the stories we could tell. But that was one of the better ones.
that is, but think about how crazy that is. Allowed. When I
Allowed to
think
be
about
gay.
that, allowed.
I was allowed to be gay. Mayor Koch allowed us to be gay. He wrote the executive order. Then you could be domestic partners. I mean, I keep waiting for me to be allowed. I mean, I did whatever I wanted.
Right.
But it's always funny when they allow us to
Right.
do one more thing,
Unbelievable.
I'm allowed to be a lesbian.
Unbelievable. And you know, I always think about this. Those guys that were like storming the Capitol in Michigan with their gigantic guns because
Oh my goodness.
someone was telling them to stay home. Can you imagine if someone told them they couldn't be with their wives or girlfriends because it was not allowed? Can you imagine?
But first of all, I mean, they're out of shape. Their bellies are hanging over their belts. They can't even have a haircut. Who goes out in public looking like that with a gun? I'd be embarrassed. I mean, at least if you're going to go out with a gun, be buff, work out, look like a gay man. I mean, you know, why are you going to go out looking like that? And, I mean, what do they look like? Really, what do they look like? Do they look in the mirror?
That is hysterical. If you're going to go out with a gun, look like it, right? You got to be buff. What are you doing?
It looks like they took a bath a month and a half ago. They got their gun and they're standing there. I don't even want to smell them. The thought is, I'm saying they must stink, you know, in front of the Capitol.
Sweating in the sun,
Oh,
screaming.
yeah, I was a cop. I did have to smell that kind of smell for people that look like that. I don't want that, really.
Right. And how long were
Take a
you
bath.
how long were you in the my cousin Marisa is laughing her ass off. Thank you, Marisa. She gets all this stuff.
Yeah.
How long were you in the NYPD and transit police?
Well, I went on transit in 1980, and
Okay.
The hostile takeover when we had to merge occurred. I'm in denial. I think it was 1995. We never wanted to go. We were a nice accredited little department, and we had to merge. By then, I was a lieutenant, so I retired. It was 20 years, but I was mostly in transit for most of it.
Okay.
And then I was stuck on NYPD for a while.
And now you're a private investigator.
Yeah, in 2 states, and I've been a professor. I haven't been a professor since Trump because I was a criminal justice professor, and the day he made the statement, don't be careful with your prisoners. It's okay if you knock their head into the side of the police car. I said, I'm going to have to stop teaching for a couple of years because I teach from the perspective love is the answer. So I didn't think it was going to work during these 4 years. So I said, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
Now I'm applying for jobs again because now I think they need what I have. But they didn't need it when he was in office.
Well, they've always needed what you have. It's just that it wasn't applauded, and but you know, as you see how necessary it is to have criminal justice professionals that are coming from a place of merging justice and merging civility and merging equal rights. There is that place. Kindness.
You have to be kind. If you're there to serve and protect, and it means serve and protect every person and to treat them like a member of your own family. And that includes the people you arrest. You don't treat them like garbage just because you arrested them.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Now, I think the protests are starting. No, the riots they're done. And the protests are winding down. There's some beautiful stuff happening. Now, I don't want to get too far into this because I think this is for another show, but would you say that, like I saw a statistic today that said 61%, hold on a second, I have it somewhere, 65% of protesters, in the peaceful protests as well, were white, which I actually think is wonderful because we're all marching together as brothers and sisters for a wonderful cause. So that I love. But what I was going to say is, do you feel that a lot of these riots were the people that actually were living in those neighborhoods or people that came from other neighborhoods?
Well, I think the protests are different than riots.
Okay.
And riots and protests are different than looting. So I think, like, people that were protesting were mainly the people who were in sorrow over the death and the Black Lives Matter people. People who were rioting may have been people who came in from other neighborhoods. And I think looting, some of it may have been crimes of opportunity, and it may have also been some of the people who were the insiders and people that came from out of the neighborhood.
Okay, Carol, bring up your voice a little more.
I said...
Yeah, I heard... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
what I said was rioting, looting, and protesting are all different things. So the protesters were the people who were mourning and there for out of sorrow, and that was the mixed group. I think people who were rioting were maybe some of the protesters that didn't control themselves. It was people who were sent in by different groups from either side, and who knows until they finished the investigation.
Right.
And then I believe that the people that were looting, some people who were out of work were just there, crimes of opportunity, had nothing to do with the protests, and people who came from out of town and said, oh, they're protesting, let us just loot. So, I think we have to take each of them as separate things.
Separate things.
And, yes.
Yeah.
Sure. And you have to look at them as all separate things.
Now,
With some overlap. Some of the people were doing all of the things.
right.
Because people, it's contagious. When you get into a situation like that, a chaotic situation, it's contagious.
Wow. Yeah. Now today, Bill Bratton was on. I love Bill Bratton, and he was on.
I love Bill Bratton.
Isn't he great? He was. If you don't know who Bill Bratton is out there, he was the commissioner of police for Los Angeles for a long time. He's from Boston, so he has this amazing Boston accent. But then he was the commissioner in New York for quite a few years, right?
Before that, he was the chief of transit police.
Wow.
He came to transit police in 1989, and he was our chief, and he's the one that helped us become accredited, and he's the one that then went over to the NYPD. But the problem was he would have been the best commissioner, and he would have done so much until Mayor Giuliani became mayor and then merged everybody. And then the culture of the NYPD changed because he was a little too gung-ho, and that's when you started seeing all the incidents with the street crime unit, Amadou Diallo, Abner Louima.
Wow.
If he would have left policing to Bill Bratton, you would have seen a whole different culture in the NYPD today. That is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I believe you. I really love Bill Bratton. He was on, and to me, he's always like the voice of reason, and he's like a stable guy. But you see that there's so much love. Like you see that it's a calling for him, and I love that.
Yes.
You know,
and he loves animals. I mean, a guy who loves animals.
Right.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. So my next guest is calling in a few minutes. So this is like a whole other thing we could talk about at some point. But one of the things that people have been saying is defund, defund, defund. And I want to change that word, and we're going to stop saying defund. What defunding is, it is not defunding, is reallocation of funds, moving things around. And so that, like today they were talking about that they are breaking up a unit, of detectives and just moving them into other positions. It's stuff like that. Things like that. What do you feel about the idea? And Bill Bratton was saying that we need to reinvent things. Do you agree with that?
Well, he was a master at reinventing, and he was great at creating morale. But the numbers that they were talking about moving around was a very small amount of numbers. I don't think they were talking about all of the plain clothes and detective functions, because if you look at 600 cops and 77 precincts, you're talking about probably only the precinct anti-crime. You're not looking at the specialized units like the buy and bust and a lot of the undercover throughout the whole department.
Right.
The numbers don't support that. You're looking at probably in-house precinct anti-crime.
Wow.
So, and the defund, it's really crazy to think you can live without police.
No, you can't.
Don't really know all the functions that police perform.
Right.
But what I think they're trying to see is some of the money that you would allocate to police allocated to social services.
Social services,
mental
right.
health things. And they need that because police aren't equipped to do all.
Well, they're not supposed to be equipped to do it.
No.
You can't show up at a scene and know how to be every single thing that person and those people need. You can't. It's impossible.
Well, the problem is, back in the day, when I was first on the job in 1980-81, they let everybody out of the mental institutions, and we had to be on the subway platform as they came out of the mental institutions. That was the day the homeless problem started, and that's when people had nowhere to go.
Wow.
That was the beginning of the end. We need to go back to funding mental, not necessarily, I don't want to say mental
No,
institutions, but services
mental health
for people
services.
who have mental problems. Yes, for sure.
Mental health
Because
services, yeah.
They come to us, and we call them in New York emotionally disturbed people, and then they come to you, they don't have medications, they're hot, they're angry, and then it ends up a big problem for us.
Yep.
For us, for them.
I know. Listen, you're going to have to come back on the show again in a few weeks because I'm actually going to have Sergeant Sue come back on as well. Because this is such an amazing, fascinating, and wonderful conversation, and I really want to educate people out there. My next guest is calling in like a minute. So, and then I think next week, if it works out, I'm going to have Dr. Jackie Giuliano call in because she's working on something called informatics. And what it is as a doctor, taking in all this, she's getting her master's in it, and she's a doctor now, but in getting in all the information on a person so that when the police are called, they know what medications they're on, they know what the prior mental state of this person is. Like maybe they're on some kind of medication that is making them act erratically or causing suicidal tendencies, so that the police can look up this situation and get all the information before they even get there. That's where some of the funds would be reallocated to. So I want to leave you with that. Carol,
Okay, nice talking to you.
I love you to pieces. You have really, really educated us. Thank you so much, honey. And
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye,
okay,
sweetie.
and good luck out there with those fires. I love you, honey.
Okay, bye, sweetie. Take care.
Bye. Oh boy, we could have talked to Carol for like another hour, right? Oh my God, she's so smart. And I have Joe Cangelosi calling in any second, so I don't want to cut into Joe's time. But we're going to have to bring Carol back. We have to. Let me see if I can check on my people. Joe's going to call in any second. My honey, hi honey. Judy's saying, she says, Ola pretty. Hi honey, thank you. You're pretty. You're the pretty one. I'm the goofy one. But anyway, so we got so many great ones. Mario De Villa, I love you so much. Benjamin, Vigil, hi sweetheart. Scott Barbarino, Marisa, my cousin Marisa. Oh my God, Joe Cangelosi is calling. Joe Cangelosi. Hold on, honey. Let me put you on speaker. 2 seconds.
All right.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Beautiful. And just
Hey, Maria.
bring up
How's it
your
going?
voice a tiny bit, honey bunny. So,
You got it.
oh, perfect. Because I got to get you on 2 different microphones.
I got you. How's that?
It's perfect. Okay,
Awesome.
so Joe, the reason I wanted to have you on, besides the fact that I always find you and I are always on the same political page.
Yeah,
Always.
I would say so. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so first of all, you sent me this thing this week that I just found so great. I mean, I always, anything you ask me to sign up for, I'll sign up for because
Well,
you're
thank you.
very, very politically active in the best possible way. Like,
Thank you very much.
you
Thank you.
don't just go out there and scream at people or get into fights on Facebook. You put your money where your mouth is,
Absolutely. Yes.
and you are someone that does something about it. So
Yeah.
now tell me, okay, so I have, you know what, I'm going to let you tell, because I'd rather hear your voice than mine. Tell everybody
Okay.
what you are working on as of late.
Oh, okay. So, well, I'll take you back a little bit.
Yes,
so,
please.
Obviously, that makes more sense that way. So, obviously, we had an election a couple years ago, which did not go too well at all. So, I did yell and scream for a couple of days, and then I decided, what can I do to sort of counteract this horror that's going to happen in our country right now? So, while he was being inaugurated on January 20th, I made a list prior to that of 20 things that I could do. I sat down at my computer, I researched a whole bunch of stuff, I joined several organizations. I'm a proud member of the NAACP. I'm a proud member of the SPLC, which is the Southern Poverty Law Center, which helps people who can't afford lawyers, particularly in the
Yes.
South, who need defense over there.
Do you know who you know that organization? Our friend
Who
Michael Reynolds.
Oh, it's
He's
a fantastic organization.
very
I'm a proud
active, yes.
member Since January 20th, 2017.
Wow.
Planned Parenthood Action Fund. I figured women, need health care, that they're being defunded. It's crazy. So I joined them. And then I was looking around for organizations that I could actually give my time to.
Right.
And I was looking at local Democratic clubs. What can I do? I found one, this is back then, called the Brooklyn Voters Alliance.
Okay.
And they had two aims: registering new voters in our local backyard in New York,
Okay.
and then changing the laws in Albany. New York had some of the oldest and most archaic voting rights. It was crazy.
Really? That surprises me.
It surprised me too, because I was an independent since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I went to change to be a Democrat for the 2016 election. I couldn't change it because at that point you had to change it 13 months prior to election day.
Wow.
Which is nuts. So I couldn't vote in the primaries then. So
Wow.
I became a Democrat a week after election day because of some stupid technicality. That law has changed because Cuomo is in there. Because there's Democratic House, Democratic State Senate, so many laws have changed for the better for voters. So New York now has early voting. We can all get out there 10 days before election day.
Isn't that amazing? I know. I just found out about that. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, it's great. That's one of the biggest ones. Absentee ballots. Anybody can request one. Actually, today is the last day to request one in New York for the primaries. You can request one after I think in a month or so for the general. I would suggest everyone vote with an absentee ballot. It's safer, it's better, and it's free. There's not even a stamp you need, so you're good.
Right.
New York actually only has as of 2016, a 57% rate of voting.
What is that? What is wrong with that? 57% of people are the only people that vote?
In New York State.
Why?
Yes. That's not good. Well, a lot of reasons for that. Some people are just lazy. What am I going to tell you?
Right.
Some people will, earlier voting only had a couple of years ago. Some people couldn't take off on a Tuesday.
Right.
They got two jobs. They needed childcare. They couldn't. Their boss should let you off, but they didn't. So, a lot of people, particularly in lower income, just can't take the time off to vote.
Right.
So hopefully that's changing now. And everybody has 10 extra days of voting in person, as well as absentee ballots. We're making it easier. The more people vote, this is America, man. Like, this is our best, right. This is it. Voting.
Well, right.
It, man.
Democracy relies on voting, on freedom.
100%.
Right.
100%, baby. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. Recently, I got even more active, if that was possible.
Amazing. I know.
A couple of things happened. I joined the Biden campaign. I'm a fundraiser for him. I'm on the Young Professionals Finance Council. I'm raising money for Joe Biden. And, campaigns cost money.
Yeah.
Like it or not, that is what it is. The other guy has had plenty of time at his, Klan rallies to, sell those stupid red hats and cash in. We got to catch up.
Wait. Made in China, by the way.
Made in China, by the way.
Those hats are made in China. Right.
So that's one of the things I'm doing. Another big thing, the one I sent you, and then we're getting back to that now. There's it's a national, it's actually Facebook, so it's virtual based because we can't meet in person, group, and it is called Defeat Trump 2020. Anybody wants to join, go on my Facebook or just search it. There you go. I'm the New York State leader for that group. So
New York State. Wait, let's stop there. New York State leader for that group is on the phone with us right now. Joe Cangelosi, my friend.
So we have, as of I just checked a couple hours ago, we have 42,000 members. Everybody wants to do something. This is not a place like post memes and any of that stuff. This is people who want to take concrete action.
Wait, I got to stop you for a second. My cousin Marisa said we should vote on Veterans Day, national holiday to honor vets by voting.
Sure.
I mean,
that's great.
All this stuff is great. There's, where days where people are not working.
Yes. Well, that's a big push. There is a big push to make it a national holiday. I don't see why not. Or a Saturday. Why isn't it on a Saturday?
Or a Sunday.
Fine, great. Go after a religious service. Great, do it or not, or not service. I mean, but vote for God's sake. Anyway, so my job. There, we are extremely organized. We are getting it through. Obviously, New York is one of the bluest of the blue states.
Right.
I live in the bluest of blue cities. Okay, fine. Yes, we're putting energy and time and everything into getting our folks voting and out there, but we're also taking our time and energy, and we're adopting swing states. We are
I
taking.
love that. I love that, adopting swing
You
states.
have to, because 70,000 votes swung the election in 3 states: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. 70,000 votes.
Wow.
That's not a lot. And just by the way, do you know how many votes Jill Stein got in Pennsylvania,
I want to
Michigan,
scream.
and Wisconsin?
How many?
70,000.
Oh my God, I want to scream.
Yeah,
Jill Stein working for Russia. Thank you very much.
70,000. Anyway, so we are focused. We are, obviously our closest state to New York is Pennsylvania. I just told the leader, we got you.
Okay,
We got you.
now I want to tell you, Leo just posted what you wrote, the young professionals.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, that website. Thank you, Leo Rodriguez.
Thank
Leo
you.
Rodriguez. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Every dollar helps. It really, really does. Something that people can do right now, if you want to help, it's super easy. You can do it from your home. If you want to help us adopt a couple swing states, Michigan and Wisconsin, very few votes separated, her from him in 2016. You can go to the website, postcardstoswingstates.com. Postcardstoswingstates.com.
Postcardstoswingstates.com. Okay.
Yes,
Ado-
perfect.
all right.
And what you can do is you can order postcards and a mailing list to either Michigan or Wisconsin or both in multiples of 100, minimum 200. What they do is they send you a stack. I got mine today.
Wow.
I got 200 of them. You address them yourself. They'll send it to you. It is free.
I'm going to do it.
Please do.
I can't wait.
And they just ask that we, who are writing it out, pay for the postage for the postcard stamps.
That's no problem.
It's 35 cents per stamp, so it's $35 per 100.
Right. I can handle that.
With a bunch of friends, get a few hundred, have a party, split the cost.
Right.
You knock it out in a few hours, and that's it. I'm doing a few every night because I live alone, so it's like, that's my evening before bed entertainment.
Wow.
And our goal is to send 2 million postcards to them, because the postcard return rate or the action rate is really only 1 or 2%, but that's a lot of votes.
Yes, it is.
That's 20,000 votes to 40,000. That's all we need.
Wow, this is amazing.
This is very targeted. This is very, very specific.
And you're involved. You personally
have to.
we have to be. Okay, Leo, thank you. He has also put that out. Now, Joe, hang on for a minute because I got to do the food section of our show. Stay there. I'm going to put the phone down while I do the food very quickly. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the segment of our show called, do it with me, Joe. Go ahead. Keep eating. Okay, what did I make tonight? I'm back on the keto diet because I got so fat in the pandemic. I couldn't button my pants. But I'm getting there now. So I've been on the keto diet. So what did I make tonight? I'm going to read this because I made something very delicious. So this is filet of sole, and I marinated it in white wine, lemon, garlic, Old Bay, which I love, parsley, and saffron. Saffron, one of my favorite exotic spices. Yes, you know. And then I sauteed some Vidalia onions, some red peppers, and for Leo, poblano peppers. Leo introduced me to the poblano peppers, which are like a dark green, and they're spicy, delicious. And then my salad, here we go, my keto-friendly salad, which most of them are, is red leaf lettuce with radishes, red onions, mozzarella bocconcini, and I love them, anchovies rolled with capers. I love them. I know a lot of people don't. I love anchovies. Only the Italian kids get that, but
I know, yeah.
and right, the Americans are like, but the Italian kids love it.
Love me some anchovies.
Yep, and then I'm using extra virgin olive oil and aceto di Modena balsamic vinegar for dessert, which on keto is hard to find good dessert, but this one I love. I mean, this company didn't ask me to do this. I do it because I love it. It's called Kiss My Keto. And what they are, I know, they're great chocolate bars. with all kinds of different flavors, and they are only 2 grams of carbs per third, which is really low. So you can stay on your keto diet, get back into your pants. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, now we can go back to our show. We have about
Don't always stop. I'm
6
Italian too.
minutes.
Stop to eat for a second. It's
I
okay.
know.
Get your-
We have
get
about
your
5
energy.
minutes left to our show. So get it all out.
All right, so what are we doing? So obviously we're doing postcards, we're supporting registration efforts. If we can't be there, we're supporting our folks up there, knocking on doors, making sure everyone's registration is up to date and poll locations are correct, because there are certain people who don't want certain people to vote.
Right.
And we are combating that one person at a time. Now, on election day, we have plans. We're actually going to organize rides to polls for senior citizens, for those without cars,
Right.
for people who are disabled or in disabled centers who need a ride. We're organizing that. If demand hits it, we're going to, charter buses and shuttles, and we're going for it.
I love
We're going
it.
to feed people in those lines. We're going to be this online for hours. We're going to order pizza, granola bars, give them bottles of water. We're going to get poll watchers to make sure everything is okay. And we're going to have people online who, like high school kids who want to help. If someone needs to step out, go to the store, take care of their kid, someone can hold their place for like a half hour.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah. So,
Someone to hold your place in line. I love that.
Yeah, like a kid 17, 16, they can't vote. They want to help. Someone needs to go do something. Raise your
Wow.
hand. I got you for a half hour.
I
And
love
cut that.
I love this. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, because these lines can be hours. So that's it. I would recommend everybody, for God's sake, vote. It's so damn important. Call your friends in all the swing states. Florida is huge. Michigan, Wisconsin, Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Colorado. Texas is in play for the first time.
I know.
This could be Arizona.
Arizona,
Georgia.
amazing.
Like, this is some big stuff.
And don't
Iowa,
just
Illinois.
vote down the
Ohio.
line. There's so many amazing people that are going that are there, that you find out who your people are. Find out there's so many amazing people that are up for election. Really.
Absolutely. It's not just president. We need to flip the Senate too. That is key.
100%.
We need 4 seats. We need down to your congressperson. Are you satisfied with them?
Right.
I happen to love mine. She's wonderful. She's going, as far as I'm concerned, she's going nowhere. But ask yourself, is that person working for you? If not, get him out and get someone else in there. This is our responsibility.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. My friend Belle Parker, who lives in Wisconsin, mind you, said, please, for the love of God, write to my state, send all the postcards, and let's turn this state blue. That is coming from a person in Wisconsin.
Thank you, Belle. Yes.
Thank you, Belle, and our friend Katie Cass and her wonderful family. They're teachers and coaches.
Yes.
They feel the same way. So,
Yes.
okay, Joe.
Postcards to swingstates.com. We are on it.
Okay, I'm going to have you call back as we get closer to the election.
Yeah, I'm in.
And get everybody excited all over again. But in the meantime, Leo posted these places that you can please. Joe has talked about it and Leo posted it. Please just go and check them out. These are great things. Joe, I love you so much. I'm so happy that you are much better. Joe, sadly, was very sick. He had COVID-19.
Yeah.
And that was incredible that you actually filmed yourself telling us about it. That was amazing, Joe. I'm so glad that you are okay.
I thought it was important. I think people should see what someone was going through. And I'm so much better. I'm running again.
Unbelievable.
I feel great. I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm so relieved that you're better, because
Thank you.
what would this world be without you? You are just...
That wasn't an option.
No, good. I love that. And I love you so much. Okay, buddy. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to get other people on it. And anything you need from me, just let me know, okay?
You got it. Thank you so much. Have a great night, Maria.
All right. Love you, sweetheart.
Love you. Take care.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
All right. Whoa. Wow. Do we have a lot of information or what? Oh, my God. Hold on. So we have a few minutes left. And I just want to thank everybody for hanging in there. I know tonight was we diverted from what we usually, well, the last 10 weeks we've diverted from our lives, haven't we? This is not your normal, your average year. It just isn't. It just isn't. And so I was telling a bunch of my friends last night, we're in like a writers group, and I said, you know what is amazing? That I think we've been in the most traumatic time that I remember in my lifetime. I mean, September 11th was pretty traumatic, I will say. This is traumatic in a different way, and it's been lasting longer. And the enemy is, you don't know where the enemy is because it's a virus. And then with the protests and state of the nation, we are in what normally would bring someone like me or you into a full panic. And I think we've gone into panics and we've adjusted. And there's a lot to be said for that. So whoever you are out there, whatever you are going through and have gone through in the last 10 weeks, give yourself a round of applause, because we are still here. We're still standing. We are adjusting. We're helping our neighbors. I know I talk to a lot of my friends in my hometown. I see Jeannie Craigie right now. People like Jeannie Craigie making masks with the Angels of Stoneham, and just amazing people doing amazing things. My friend Brian Johnson, police department out there, wonderful guy, doing great things. So many nice human beings that I want to shout out. All my friends have been very, very positive, even though we're terrified. But I feel like we're coming out of it. But we got to stay vigilant. Prayers for Arizona, Florida, Alabama, all these places that are spiking. Let's pray for them. We don't want people dying. We want people to live and be well. And all that. So I want to remind you guys again, yes, of course I have merchandise. I will put the Venmo up there if you want. A lot of people have been buying merchandise. Boy, thank you so much. Here's your little tote bag. It's $10. On the back of it, go ahead, keep eating. And it's washable, which is great. You go out and you're like, I don't know, throw it in the wash. That's what I do. And thank you, Jimmy. The mug, what's the story with Maria mug? $10. What does it say on the back? Go ahead, keep eating. And then the piece de resistance. This is the big seller. The apron, the go ahead, keep eating apron. What's the story with Maria? That's $25. Let me know if you want it. We have a form up there, or you could just Venmo me and send me an email. That's fine too. I love and appreciate you guys. I want to thank Jim Bell. He's our producer and engineer. Really great guy. I want to thank Joe Rocks of Armed Radio. We love and appreciate you. Come back next Tuesday because I got some really, really amazing, interesting stuff piggybacking on what we talked about. It's called about informatics. Dr. Jackie Giuliano is going to join us, and someone else. Okay, love you guys. Have a great night.